Hello, welcome back to Animated Literacy. This is lesson number 30 from the Story, Song, and Action book. In our last lesson, we took the sound that we had learned from Arnie Aardvark and his AR letters, and we put them into a word to draw two different kinds of stars. So here we have one kind of star, and then here we have a pop star over here singing, and she has stars on her dress. Now, I'm always looking for ways that we can practice our sounds over and over and over again. So this is something that you might want to do after this lesson. If you draw the picture that we drew of our cowboy, you could take and you could put a star on our cowboy, and then your cowboy can become a sheriff. So let's see how we would do that real quickly here. Here's our cowboy, and we started our star by coming down with an angle line this way, an angle line this way. Then we came up a little over halfway and we made that into an A. Then we put the sides out. Then we came from one point up, from our other point up, and we had a star on our cowboy. So now you could write that word star again. What was the first sound in star? S. S for surfing. What was the next sound in star? T. T for tickling. And what's the last sound in star? R. And how many letters did it take to spell that sound? 1, 2. And so that word says star, and we could tie the string to the star. Now in this lesson, we put those words into Pig Latin. So if we were to change the word star in Pig Latin, we start from the vowel. What's the vowel sound in Pig Latin? R. So here we are starting with A, R. For R, and then we're going to take the letters that came on the front and put them on the back. So we have S for surfing, T for tickling, and then finally what happens in Pig Latin? We end it with an A and a Y that says A, and now that in Pig Latin is R plus stay forms what? Our stay. So now we've got another word that we can play with in Pig Latin. So now after drawing our picture of our star, we have added it to our chart, and our chart doesn't fit on one page anymore. So we've been learning a lot of words. And the better we are at these words of reading them, taking them apart, gesturing the sounds, saying the names of the letters used to spell the words, the easier it's going to be to learn all of our other words because they'll have many of the same sounds that you find here. So let's practice our words just a little bit. Let's do star again. See if you can show me all the sounds in star before I do it. Okay, so star was surfing, tickling, and grabbing the high bar. Let's put those together. Star, star. And how did we spell star? S-T-A-R. How did we do hat? What are the sounds in hat? Hat. Do that again. Hat. And what are the letters that we used to spell hat? H-A-T. Let's try a couple more from our first page of words that we can draw and read and write. Let's try axe. What's the first sound in axe? A. What's the next sound? X. Let's put those together. Axe. And what are the letters that we used to spell axe? A-X. Let's try top over here. Show me the sounds you hear in top. T, op. Again, tickling, going to the doctor for Ollie, and painting. Once more. T, op. And how did we spell our word top? T-O-P. Today we're going to be learning a new character. So let's first talk about the topics that are going to be in our character story. First topic is where our character lives. And our character lives in a jungle. And you often find jungles in rainforests. And so here's a picture of a rainforest, and here's a Skybrary book that is called Step into the Rainforest, and it's written by Howard Rice. And it tells us here that a rainforest is where it rains a lot. And because it rains a lot, plants grow. And so you have trees, and you have vines, and you have ferns, and all kinds of things growing in the rainforest. This is another Skybrary book about a jungle that you would find in some rainforests. And this is a book by Alex Beard, and it's called The Jungle Grapevine. Now in this one, they show a picture of elephants and lions and hippos. So this rainforest was probably from Africa, where you would find those animals. But the rainforest that we're going to be talking about today is not in Africa. It's in the Amazon, which is in South America. And so here's a book about the Amazon rainforest, and they've got these colorful birds that you would find there. And you would not find lions and tigers and elephants in the Amazon rainforest, but you would find this animal that is going to be the main character in our story today. This is a jaguar. A jaguar is the third largest cat, it tells us in our story, and it is the king of the jungle in the Amazon. So in Africa, the lion would be the king of the jungle, but in the Amazon, the jaguar is the king of the jungle. Another topic that we're going to be using in our story today is the circus. And this is a Skybrary video that you can find if you look up under circus. And it has Cirque du Soleil, which is a very famous circus that has all kinds of clowns, but it doesn't have animals in this circus. So you can learn about Cirque du Soleil. Here's some other books where you can learn some things about the circus. This is Spot, and this is a story about how Spot goes to the circus. So you might enjoy that book. And this is a book called from Roger Pear, and it's called Circus Days. And this one has some fun words in it. It starts out with, "Call the children all around, the animal circus is coming to town." And here's all the children going and the animals that are going to be in the circus. And one of the performances that we're going to be talking about in a circus today is juggling. And this says, "The pins go twirling, 1, 2, 3, 4, as our fearless juggler pushes across the floor." So in circuses, you often have people who juggle, and that means you have more things than you have hands. And so here, I only have 1, 2 hands, but how many balls do I have? 1, 2, 3. So if you can throw and catch 3 balls in the air, then you're juggling. So let me see, I'm kind of out of practice from juggling. See if I can do it here. So that's juggling. Here's another good book about the circus, and this is from the Barnum and Bailey Circus. And it's called The Greatest Show on Earth. And this book is written by John Prater. And if we open it up here, we can see that we have people flying through the air on the flying trapeze in the circus. And then we turn over here, and here we have jugglers, just like I was doing a moment ago. This is another fun book about the circus from Jack Preletsky, and it's just called Circus. Now the character that we're going to be learning about today is Jenny Jaguar. And Jenny Jaguar lives in the jungle of South America in the Amazon rainforest. And just like happened in Arnie Aardvark's story, a special show comes to where Jenny Jaguar is living. Only the show that comes to the jungle is not the art festival the way it was in Arnie Aardvark's story, but instead a circus comes to the jungle. And Jenny goes, kind of hides behind a bush because jaguars don't come out very often. And they tell us in our story about jaguars that if you see a jaguar, it's because they want you to see them. because they're really good at hiding. So just like Arnie Aardvark, she hides out and she watches the circus performers. And her favorite circus performers are the performers who do like I just did, who like to juggle. Well, Jenny decides that when she grows up, she wants to be a circus performer. And she tells her friends, I'm going to run away and join the circus. But her friends tell her, Jenny, you don't want to run away and join the circus, because in the circus, the tamers use a whip to get the animals to perform all kinds of tricks. And here's the lion that he's using his whip so that the lion will jump through hoops of fire. Well, Jenny thinks, gosh, I don't want to jump through hoops of fire, but I want to be in the circus. So what can I do to be in the circus? Well, she's jogging and jumping and going around the jungle one day when she hears a gentle jingle jangle sound, kind of like this. And she looks to see where that sound is coming from. And what she discovers is that somebody has taken some hooks that are the same shape as her letter J. And they've hung those hooks up in some trees and vines, and they've connected some bells to them so that when the wind blows, it can jingle jangle. She thought, well, that's a pretty interesting sound. Then as she explored a bit more, she found some jelly jars. And here's a jelly jar, and she discovered if I take and I put the hooks in the jelly jar, and I put the bells in the jelly jar, and now I run and I throw the jars up in the air, you can kind of hear a jingly jangle sound as I'm doing that. So now she's jogging through the forest or through the jungle, and she's throwing her jars up in the air. But nobody was all that interested in what she was doing. So then she found another jelly jar. She thought, well, if I throw 2 jelly jars up into the air, that's a little more interesting. But still, no one paid very much attention. So then she finally just found another jelly jar. And now she had 3 jelly jars. Well, if you have 3, what can you do with those jelly jars? Well, at first, Jenny took her jelly jars and she tried to juggle with them, but you can see here what happened. The jelly jars just fell on her head because juggling takes a lot of practice. But she kept practicing over and over and over again until eventually she got to where she could juggle. And when she started juggling her jelly jars, all her friends came out to watch and to listen to the jingle jangle, and they all said, Jenny, you're ready to join the circus. And that's just what Jenny Jaguar did. And so now Jenny Jaguar is the most famous juggling jaguar in all of circus history. So whenever you see our picture of Jenny Jaguar, I want you to think about juggling. Take your hands, move them up and down like this, and go j for Jenny Jaguar sound. Now, if we put Jenny Jaguar into our song about Are You Sleeping, it's going to sound like this. Ready? Put your hands out and sing after me. Are you juggling? Are you juggling? Jenny Jaguar, Jenny Jaguar. Jenny's bells are saying, Jenny's bells are saying, jing jong jing, jing jong jing. If we put a cat into Jenny's song, it's going to sound like this. Are you juggling? Are you juggling? Jenny Jaguar, Jenny Jaguar. Jenny's cats are saying, Jenny's cats are saying, jiao, 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 jiao. What kind of sound is Jenny's? It's a consonant. How do you know? Because we had to put something with it. It couldn't stand alone, like the cheese in The Farmer in the Dell. Now, if we were to put Jenny into Little Puppy, let's practice that song for a moment. Little puppy, he says woof, woof, woof. What would Jenny's puppy say? Jenny's puppy, he says joof, joof, joof. Now, Jenny, of course, just like all of our characters, Jenny Jaguar has her own song. So let me teach you her song and show you the gestures to go along with it. First, put your hands up like this and show me juggling and sing back to me. Jenny, Jenny, let's see, forgot the tune for a minute. This tune goes to I've been working on the railroad. So let's do a tiny bit of that. I've been working on the railroad all the livelong day. Now if we use Jenny instead, it would be Jenny Jaguar likes to juggle. Jenny Jaguar likes to juggle. Juggle J's. So now you need to make a letter J. Juggle J's in and make a jar with your hands like this. Jars. So let's do just that much over again. Jenny Jaguar likes to juggle. Juggle J's in jars. Now we'll repeat the first line. Jenny Jaguar likes to juggle. Now show me how she likes to jump and jog. So when you're jogging, you're running. Jenny juggles, jumps, and jogs. Now show me listening. Can't you hear the jingle jangle? Now show me your J's again. J's jingle in the jelly jars. Now show me come. Come and juggle J's with Jenny. Jenny juggles J's. So let's do that once more and then we'll do it along with our recording. Ready? Jenny Jaguar likes to juggle. Juggle J's in jars. Jenny Jaguar likes to juggle. Jenny juggles, jumps, and jogs. Can't you hear the jingle jangle? J's jingle in the jelly jars. Come and juggle J's with Jenny. Jenny juggles J's. So now I'll show you the words to Jenny's song. And let's see if you can do the gestures while I point to the words. Ready?
Jenny Jaguar likes to juggle. Juggle J's in jars. Jenny Jaguar likes to juggle. Jenny juggles, jumps and jogs. Can't you hear the jingle jangle? J's jingle in the jelly jars. Come and juggle J's with Jenny. Jenny juggles J's.
Okay, so now I want you to think about some things that are in your life that go along with Jenny Jaguar's story. So when you get your paper for Jenny Jaguar, you can take and rainbow write over her capital J and her lowercase j with a little dot up here. And then turn your page over on the back and think of some things that you might like to throw up and catch. So maybe you go, oh, I like to play catch with a ball, or maybe a baseball, or maybe a football, and how many balls you're able to catch at one time. Or you might tell me about a show that you have gone to. Maybe you've gone to a circus. So if you've ever been to a circus and you've seen the clowns and the jugglers and the people who fly on the flying trapeze, you might tell me a little bit about what you enjoyed most at the circus. Or maybe you've been to a different kind of a show where people did other kinds of tricks. Sometimes we go to the park where I live, and there may be performers in the park who do circus acts, but they're not actually in a circus. So you might tell me about that. Or you might tell me about your favorite kinds of plants that need lots of water. So maybe you like ferns, or you like the tall trees, or things like that. So draw me a picture and write me a sentence about your picture, or if you're not ready to write a sentence yet, you can wait until your teacher or your parent comes and you can tell them about your picture. They can write the sentence and then you can rainbow write over it and then copy it down underneath. So I hope you enjoyed our story about Jenny Jaguar. What was her sound again? J. Now in our next lesson, we're going to take Jenny Jaguar's sound and we're going to put it into a word that we can learn to read, write, and draw. So thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you in our next lesson.